Hey everybody, and welcome back to another bike overview. Today we are checking out the brand new Sur-Ron Ultra Bee for 2025. We've seen a couple prototypes ridden from Electric Cycle Rider and I believe Electric Cycle Works, but now we finally have some specs on the bike, so we're just going to check it out and see what Sur-Ron has been cooking up for 2025. So starting off with the Sur-Ron Ultra Bee 2025, the first feature I want to mention is the one that's going to make you the fastest rider possible, and that is the color of the bike. It looks like they're going to be producing this bike in two different colors. The first color is this badass desert brown with like black plastics. It looks really slick, really tactical. And then they also have just the carbon black bike, which they already have been producing for the first generation of the Ultra Bee. I'm really a fan of this desert color. This looks really cool. The second thing we're going to touch on this bike is the power output. Surron has really upped the ante as far as the power output from the first generation to the second generation. With the first generation running at 12.5 kilowatts in sport mode, this 2025 version of the bike is going to run at 18 kilowatts in sport mode, so quite a bit faster. And this 2025 version will also include a turbo mode. When you activate turbo mode, you're going to be running the bike at 21 kilowatts, which is crazy on this lightweight chassis. This bike will be able to fly through the woods and on the motocross track. Surron claims that this 21 kilowatts of power will allow the bike to go 0 to 31 miles an hour in 2 seconds. Moving along, the second thing I wanted to talk about for the 2025 version of the bike is the battery pack. Surron has upgraded the battery pack for this bike and says they're going to be shipping it with a 74 volt 60 amp hour battery, which will definitely be able to deliver that 21 kilowatts of peak power. However, this battery pack is only 5 amp hours bigger than the first generation of the bike. While it will be able to deliver all that power that they claim, I don't expect the range on this bike to be that good. Surron is claiming that the effective range of this bike is going to be 71.5 miles at 31 miles an hour, and that is bullshit. I love Surron, and I don't know where they got those numbers, but that will not be the effective range on this bike, especially if you're just riding it like a normal person. I've been racing electric dirt bikes for 6 years now, and in my opinion, at this power level and this battery pack, I think you'll get around 20-25 miles of trail riding range. It's probably even less on a motocross track. And with that being said, while I do like that they technically made the battery bigger for the second version of the bike, I think that it will get less range than the first generation of the bike since you'll be pulling so much more power. What we're going to touch on next for this 2025 version of this bike is just things that Surron has looked at and either reinforced, optimized, and improved for this new version of the bike. One thing that Surron mentioned specifically was the forks on the bike. They're going to be a different fork from the first version of the bike, with the outer tube changed to a squeeze-through type, and the thickness of the walls are going to be more uniform, which is going to help the rigidity of the fork by 50%. Surron has also redesigned and enhanced the entire transmission system for the Ultra Bee. 2025 Ultra Bee is now going to come with carbon fiber belts, along with forged pulleys with tungsten coating on them. Surron claims this will increase the strength of the entire transmission by up to 60%. The 2025 versions of the Sur-Ron Ultra Bee are also going to introduce 2 new power modes that we can cycle through. The bikes are going to come with an eco mode, a daily mode, a sport mode, and reverse, and all those are on the 2024 models. But with these new bikes, we're also going to have that turbo mode that we talked about that runs at 21 kilowatts. The bike also comes with a crawl mode, which will be adjustable in 3 different levels. Now, if you don't know what crawl mode does, it does 2 different things. Number 1, if you don't want to push the weight of your bike when you're just pushing your bike, you can switch it into crawl mode and it'll walk with you. The second use of this feature is a lot more useful, especially if you're an enduro rider. If you are stuck on a rock and your back wheel is slipping and you can't get up over this rock, crawl mode will allow you to basically have a slow moving traction control. So you can push your bike up over rocks with it assisting you with traction control on all the way. It's like a cheat code basically for getting unstuck. It's going to be a really cool mode. I think a lot of people are going to like this on this bike. The 2025 models are going to ship with an 18-inch rear tire and a 19-inch front. The charging time for the bike is going to be 2.5 hours from 20 to 80, so realistically it's more like 3.5 if you want to charge it all the way up. And Surron claims that the bike will be able to reach 59 miles an hour. And last but not least, the pricing for the new 2025 Ultra Bee. Surron has not yet said what their price is going to be on the bike. I'm assuming it'll be around the $7,000 range. And $7,000 I think is a pretty good guesstimate because they didn't go all out on a huge battery and they didn't go 1821 wheel setup. It looks like they're trying to cut production costs down a little in order to keep the actual price of the bike down, because they don't want to get it too close to that $8,500 mark, which is where their Storm Bee is at. And if this bike was starting to cost almost the same as the Storm Bee, they would not sell any Storm Bee. So I'm pretty sure they're just trying to keep the cost of the bike down. So all that makes me think that'll be right around the $7,000 USD range. Alright guys, and that is currently everything that we know about the new 2025 Sur-Ron Ultra Bee. It looks like it's going to be a beast on the trails and on the motocross track. I think that the first generation of the Ultra Bee is a fantastic bike, and I think Sur-Ron's doing a really good job because they're taking the chassis and everything that people love about this first generation, and they're just adding a little bit of oomph to it and refining it quite a bit. So I think this new version is going to be quite a bit better, and I think a lot of people are going to like this. Let me know what you guys think of this new bike down in the comments. I'll let you guys know when I find more info. Stay safe riding. See you next time.